time for us to get into a conversation this morning about so you know how we get into the new year, the year's ending, we're going to go into the new year, we're coming up with resolutions and plans and, you know, preparations as to how do we move forward and so on. One of the big factors that affects everyone is the issue of trust, right? Trust in relationships. And we're going to talk this morning about trust games that you and your partner, can get into to ostensibly build your relationship. All right. Now, 2022 was rough for everyone. Globally, as a country, individually, we all went through different things, okay? But we're going to have a conversation about the things we need to do make 2023 look a bit more chirpy. Hannah Abraham Sapia has joined me on the set this morning. She's a pastor and author, a teen and youth educator, and we're going to delve into these conversations. Trust games for you and your partner. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
It's good to have you here. We are nicely ending the year with you coming on the show.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
Yes, so talk to us about trust games for you and your partner.
Trust games.
And why it's even
important,
yeah.
Trust games. You know, when we talk of games, these are activities for amusement and fun. Normally when we talk of games, we think of children. We think of people don't have anything to do. It's not something that everybody usually engages in. But games have a very vital role they play in helping build different aspects of our life. Apart from the entertainment, it can foster trust. So coming to trust, when we talk of trust, it has to do with reliability in somebody, truth or ability of someone or something. So you have a partner, it could be your spouse, could even be your work colleague, but let's talk with respect to your spouse. And you want to be able to improve the reliability of that person.
Okay.
Let's say 2022 has been bad financially, morally, or any other way. It's been normal. You've not gotten the best out of the person. What are some of the trust games you can engage in? I'll start from this angle. There are many trust games.
Okay.
But trust has a chemical component to it. So, you know, because I'm a science person, I'll use a science angle. Oxytocin is like a trust hormone.
Yeah, it is a trust
So
hormone.
once you are able to increase oxytocin in the body, you are able to increase trust. So we're going to find games that can increase this chemical in our body. And there are quite a number of games. If you Google or you search on the internet, these games cannot be cut and paste. I say that because, you know, we have different personality types and then we have different cultures. So a game that may fly in Africa may not fly in Europe. Or a game that may fly in Europe may not fly in Africa. Because if you have a personality type who has trust as one of their, what do you call it? Trust is on a spectrum for people when you do the big five. The personality of trust is low normally. And you are trying to start a particular game which requires high trust. Even with a partner, it can end up rather as in a negative as rather than positive. So what are some of the trust games people normally do? They do trust falls. Trust falls, it means between you and your partner, you want to fall and your partner wants to catch you.
That game where, I remember when we were kids, there was one that we used to do where parents would stand behind a table, and then your child is on the table. And then just to show how, depending on the age of the child, there tends to be a lot more trust when the kids are younger.
Very good.
And it's like the kids' eyes have opened to something as they get older. So it's like they're not sure whether you will catch them or not. And the child, look, I remember this because there was an incident where the father was standing there and he says, fall, I'll catch you, fall, I'll catch you. And the child we said that it's not about whether you want to catch me or not. It's whether you will be able to catch me or not.
Right.
And so it's interesting as you're talking about. It just took me back to those experiences that I had.
So the ability, will you be able to look at myself? I'm a plus size person. If I'm falling, can my spouse catch me? And so even though it's a very good and an interesting
and you
game,
may have a good motive and motivation to catch me, but can you?
There's another game, they call it the apple and the, what do you call it? The apple and the dart, or the apple and the, how do you call it? It's like a dart.
Okay.
So you put an apple on your head.
Apple and arrow?
Apple and arrow,
Okay.
I prefer that name.
Okay.
You put an apple on your head and the person shoots an arrow.
Hey.
For some of us who grew up in this African context, where we have a lot of trust issues, the day you decided to shoot the arrow was when a mosquito decided to bite you. So it's not about trust, but it's about skill. Do I really trust your skill? Am I sure the people in your village...
It's like I trust you, but I don't
trust your skill and the environment you are in. Maybe your family members are looking for me, and that's the occasion they'll get. So that game will not be applicable for certain people. But others are daring, they'll do that. But there are other simple games like sip and paint. Painting, interestingly, has a very high level of oxytocin release, even in men. So people who engage, I'm telling you, couples who engage in sip and paint, it doesn't have direct impact, but it has a lot of indirect, where there's a lot of appreciation. Oh, you are doing well. The person touches the other partner in the process.
Wait, explain the sip and paint. So how
sip
does
and
it
paint.
look like?
So there's a canvas, usually. Sometimes you have water, you have juice, and then you are painting. We want to paint the ocean, want to paint a fish, want to paint a Christmas tree.
Is it one canvas that the couple are working on?
Everybody can have their own.
Canvas.
Everybody has their own canvas. So we may not even be directly on the same canvas, but interestingly, it's an activity that has proven that it increases oxytocin and it increases the stress hormone because we work in the same space, and then
we are trying to achieve a similar objective of creating
trust.
This painting, and somehow it bonds the two of you.
Very interesting. Then another one is eye gazing. That one, a lot of people find it difficult, even though it should have been the easiest.
Eye gazing.
Eye gazing.
As in what?
As in sit.
Staring at each other's eyes.
Sit in front of your partner and stare at the person for about 3 minutes or 5 minutes without looking elsewhere. Yes, staring is rude, but in this case, you are not staring. In this case, you are looking lovingly. It's your partner. You are gazing. Now,
Abiyago has to come and explain the difference between staring and gazing. We have to bring her on the show to come and explain.
Exactly for this point. So as you are looking at your partner, what happens is there's a chemical signal that is sent when you can achieve that point where they call it the limbic mirror system. So the emotions are mirrored in your partner. So you start feeling the same thing your partner is feeling. But it's an attention gazing activity. And many people are so busy doing everything, but they can't have time to be able to develop this game. So this one, irrespective of culture, nation, you should be able to do that. So eye gazing is a very good one.
So the thing about eye gazing, you know, in public speaking, some books that I have read teach you that look above the heads of people when you're talking in a public environment, right? One guy I listened to, and I totally love his approach. He said, look people in the eye. Pick them off one by one in the crowd and look at them in the eye. And he said that there's a period of comfort. That's about 4 seconds. Anything beyond 4 seconds, you start to get uncomfortable staring at somebody straight in the eye, right? But what it does is that it allows you to build connections with individuals in the room, you know, especially front 2 rows, you know. But I thought that was interesting. So to sit with your spouse and gaze into their eyes for 3 minutes.
Or 5 minutes.
I'm going to try this one. Look,
Please
listen, before we continue, I really need Apioko to come and join us on the show to explain the difference between staring and gazing. Apioko, we are struggling. Please come. Yeah, this one we don't understand.
Whoa.
What is the difference between staring
and gazing? Good morning.
Good morning.
What's the difference between staring and
just dragging me.
Yes, explain.
So, when we stare, you are looking at something fixatedly, usually with a vacant look on your face. There's not any emotion attached to it. You've seen something, it's caught your attention. You're staring, you're lost in thoughts. You don't even realize that you're doing a lot of the time. When you gaze, there's an element of admiration. That's why we say stargazing. So you look at something either in amazement, in love, in astonishment, and then you just pour your emotions out through your eyes.
See why we needed her.
That's why we needed her to come and explain that thing. Okay, so you see, so now I have a defense. Because I'll be there and I'll say, why are you staring? I said, I'm not staring.
I'm gazing.
Oh, now
I'm gazing.
You are in trouble. I'm gazing.
Who is in trouble?
Oh, somebody. She knows herself.
What's her name?
It's okay.
I know it's not okay. No, but we should practice this one.
Okay.
Oh, no, this one is not difficult.
You are practicing it.
Yeah.
So,
it's 3 to 5 minutes.
3 to 5 minutes.
You're not, no.
3 to 5 minutes.
Can you blink?
Oh, yes, you can.
But you can't break the gaze.
No,
well,
you can't
that's
shift.
easy.
You can't look
very
elsewhere.
easy. It's not difficult.
Many people
but
can't
I think
do
if
that.
you trust the person, usually it's easier.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's why, remember, we said we are trying to build trust.
Yeah.
Many people don't have that trust.
Yeah.
Having practiced that art, it's a skill that they didn't learn either from their parents. They didn't learn societally. Societally, you are taught not to stare. They didn't teach us the difference between gazing and staring. So many people never learned the art. And you know, when you look at somebody in the face, you're actually vulnerable because you feel they can see your soul. So gradually, people take their eyes off. If you want to put somebody in what do you call it, a calm mode, just look directly at them. They take their eyes off you, especially if they have something to hide. It is.
Well, you know, even in business, we were talking about trust relationships. So when you shake someone's hand or you're talking to someone, you must look them directly in the eye. Usually, it tells whether you have confidence in what you're saying or not. So that I give you my money or not. You know, so that's interesting.
But the first time I understood why people break the gaze, you know, it surprised me, but it's really true. There's a certain level of discomfort that is created beyond a certain point. You know, it's like I'll look, but at a certain point, I can't hold the look.
Because of the mirroring effect. You know, at a certain point, because of the neurotransmitters, you start mirroring the emotions. So you can actually pick and you can start telling that this person is not truthful because you will start feeling it. And if the person is genuine, you feel it. And if it's your spouse, you feel the love. So it's one of the secrets. Just keep looking at the person and you'll be able to tell beautifully. But look at David. He says, I lift up my eyes to the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord. What's he doing? He's gazing at the Lord and he's mirroring the Lord's emotions in his. That's what gives him confidence that my trust is in the Lord. So when somebody says, I trust in the Lord, it's because the person looks at the word, looks at the Lord, and knows that this one, he's an infallible God. He doesn't change. But when I look at you, me myself, I don't trust myself. Can I trust David? Can I trust my partner? Especially if the person has disappointed you along the line. You've had an uncomfortable journey in your relationship. And the person may genuinely even not know. There are some people who sincerely, they don't know. I worked with a girl who will tell you, Mommy, I don't know. Nobody taught me. So these activities, these games foster trust. Even in the work environment. There's even blind guiding. Blind guiding is another beautiful game where you close a partner's eye and then you are going to leave your instincts completely into another person. I'm used to my instincts, but not yours. How sure am I that your instincts work well? But because I trust you, I want to trust you, I'm going to close my eyes and listen. Take 2 steps to the left, move 3 steps forward, move 1 step backwards, and then I am developing trust in you.
Yeah.
This works if we have had a good conversation. I would say that because I know somebody very well who, if you play this kind of game with, he would actually make you trip. And he will be excited with your tripping.
Oh, no.
I mean, yes, that's his game.
It's like,
his game.
For him, that's his game.
Okay.
But you, it's your trust
Yeah.
component you want to develop. But he is just the fun
having
aspect.
fun of
He's
you-
having fun
you
on
tripping.
you tripping. And so somebody will rather lose trust with such a game instead of build trust. But if we have a conversation that I want to be able to trust your instincts.
Yeah.
Another one people do is the things that are most valuable to you. Everybody has a valuable space. Could be your journal, could be your phone. In today's world, the phone is so valuable to young people, to certain couples. Can you trust that valuable thing of yours to your partner? Can I leave my phone in your space for 3 days because you're going to bear my life to you?
Yeah.
Can I leave my journal with you? Many spouses can't do that. Have you had the phone ringing and the female and the males are running towards the same phone and you're wondering, the phone in my house is no breaking news. My children use my phone, my spouse uses my phone. But in other homes, it doesn't happen. What about your bank cards? What about your passwords? There are people who will not risk giving their passwords to their spouse. These are all trust games. So different things that will foster fun and activity, amusement, but most importantly, it will help you rely on another person's instinct and know that I can confidently believe in such a person to do this for me.
Wow.
Even bringing me on set is a trust game.
Okay.
How sure are you that I could have delivered what you wanted?
That's true.
So anytime you bring a person on set, it's a trust game.
Yeah, yeah. No, what I'm hearing from what you're saying is, look at potential areas of challenge.
Yeah.
And you can create a game around it. You know, to build trust in that area. Wow.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, it is. I like
So if you tell, for the women, maybe you've tied your hair up in a pony, and you know they use thread for it. So they ask your partner to cut the thread to loosen the pony. Can you trust you?
Whether they won't cut your hair, they won't cut your hair. You know,
And even you do cooking. You know, usually it's the females who cook. Many males can cook. Then we want to make fufu and abenkwai, and you are getting very important visitors. Can you trust your partner to serve your in-laws that food or cook that day, and you are willing to eat that food that he cooked? There are certain foods I'm sure your partner cooks. You may...
It's like...
Because their cooking is also part of trust games. Things that you know the person's ability and skills cannot handle, then you commit to them. That's how we build trust in children. We give them money, we send them to the market or the mall. What would they do with this money? What would they do? I used to do that with my daughters. I would give them, their father will actually give them an amount of money, and we go to the supermarket. He was checking how trustworthy they are, whether they'll know whether they could handle that money. And then he stands at the counter and says, go and pick anything you want. And then he wants to check without giving you limits. And you find one is very excited. One goes for books. One goes for toys. Another one buys a gift for mommy, buys a gift for daddy, takes out tight, and then takes out saving. The other one spends all and borrows the other one's remaining money. So immediately you know
you
that...
can see the differences.
The difference...
You can also step in and correct
immediately. You now teach them, because it becomes a teaching moment where you teach them that money has a purpose. It's a servant, but there's a seed in it. There's what you can spend, there's what you can save. But without teaching, you just realize that, and that's even a game. Can you trust your spouse with money? There are certain spouses don't trust with money in a bookshop. They will come back with books excitedly or go to a fashion store. These are games, but these are now expensive games. You give $1,000 in this economy now to your spouse to check whether I can trust you. It's a game. And some people will come back with the money multiplied. Others will come back with the money with a debt hanging on your head. Would that be a game you would want to? I'd rather do eye gazing than trust my dollar, a dollar exchange game.
Wow, fantastic. No, I love it. I love it. I think this has brought us a lot of insight.
So which game are we going to play? Which game are we demonstrating?
Oh, the eye gazing.
The eye
gazing.
That one is easy.
You won't do the blind
you won't
guys.
catch me.
Yes, I think they should catch both of us.
I can catch you.
That's good.
You can catch
Do
me.
we trust him?
The question is whether you trust me to catch you.
Are you sure you can
Her
catch me?
husband, her husband will be watching.
For all the worrying that I've worried him, let me leave you to fall
I'll
today.
catch you. Oh, I'll catch you.
But
We can do it.
So should we do it?
We should do it.
Okay, let's do it. No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
Yay! Okay.
Practical.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have to prove.
Okay.
We have to prove that these games work.
So
this is a trust fall.
so
you
we
want
have
to
let me shift this one
practically.
a little bit.
David, hey, the whole world
You have
is
brought a
watching.
game here. We are going to
We
now
are
do the game.
practicing. Because once you practice, everybody watching.
Yeah, so you have to let yourself go and fall.
Okay.
Everybody watching.
So on the
will
count
practice.
of, I'm going to count downwards. Okay.
Okay.
So you don't.
I love this.
You see, the thing about falling is that you are not allowed to move your feet back.
I just have to.
You just have to let yourself go.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I'm going to
ready.
count down
I'm
from
ready.
3.
Wow.
So 3, 2, 1.
Whoa! Well done.
All right, well,
that was well demonstrated. That was well demonstrated.
Yeah.
But I think we should all be like David in my concluding statement. He says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he shall direct your path.
I like it.
It's good to trust in people. It's good to trust in your partners. But trust in the God who will give you the grace to trust in your partner. Because God is the only one who can help you trust that your partner will not fail you. So your partner may want to fail you, but because you trust that God will not allow him to fail you, the possibility of him failing you becomes slim. Even if he wants to, he can't, because you've put it in God's hand. That's in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Compliments of the season.
Yes, and to you too, and your family as well.
Bonne année en avance.
Oh, wow. They've taken you to France.
No, but she's a consummate French speaker.